Welcome back, everybody, to The Bottom Line. I'm Lauren Kalil with Morning Chalk Up, and on the show again, we have Patrick Clark, Brian Friend, and Chase Ingraham. We are ready for Wodapalooza, 1 day away. It's going to be an exciting 10th year anniversary. You guys are all going to be down there for the action.
Oh, man. I'm so excited to be back there, especially celebrating 10 years. So I'll probably make some mistakes, but hopefully they won't get caught on camera.
Okay,
It's,
mistakes
no.
on camera. You meant mistakes on camera.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Broadcasting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not life
That's
choices.
hoping for too.
10 years
Brian,
is 10 years is a big deal. You know, we make a big deal about the 10-year affiliate, and there's not that many competitions that have been around for a decade. You know, these guys that started this thing down in Miami, it was pretty big for a first year when they first did it, around 150 athletes, and there's going to be close to 3,000 athletes competing there this year, which is not something that's unusual for Wodapalooza now. They've always innovated in terms of expanding divisions and opportunities for different people to compete there, and they make it just as much about those divisions as they do the elite and best in the world that come to compete. For them, it's just as much a celebration as it is a display of fitness and a competition. And if you haven't been there or experienced it, you know, this is a good opportunity to do it, because the broadcast can be available, and hopefully we'll be able to, you know, bring that experience to people that aren't able to make it this year as well.
Yeah, as much as I want people to listen to Chase and Bill and Tommy's beautiful voices, I would really stress, if they have a chance to experience it. I mean, fly down there, drive down there, you know, get away from whatever, you know, winter hellhole you're at. But what I'm doing, I'm escaping like -10 degrees weathers here in the Midwest to drive 19 hours down there. But it's a community event, especially, I mean, with the competition. You won't have that much. You're literally on top of the athletes in terms of the stage, and I mean, the athletes love that environment. It's a very different setup than the games in terms of the fan interaction and just how excited the fans get and how loud it can get.
Yep,
The thing
still
I love
time for
about-
people to head down there too, but if not,
Yeah.
the broadcast is free. We will be streaming it. We'll have all the links for you guys for free. Chase, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying, you know, 10 years is the thing I love about Wodapalooza is that they don't try, you know, you see a lot of off-season events like, oh, is this like the games of the off-season? Or, you know, how can we be like the games? And what I really like about Wodapalooza is they don't try to be like the CrossFit Games. They are a fitness festival, and you could almost interchange those words, like festival of fitness, because they really do focus on the community aspect, the celebratory part of what just being fit and testing that fitness is really all about, which is what I love about Wodapalooza. And they do unique things throughout the weekend, is the way they have, I mean, half like little in between event shows and these like giant laser robots dancing, and you see the intercontinental ladies dancing, you know, and it's a nightclub feel, because most of their big events are late at night, which you don't see at a lot of competitions. They try to finish early and do all their stuff in the morning. And it's really cool to see actually what I think Wodapalooza's influence on actually the games has been over the years, with the festival environment that we saw try to get replicated in Madison that we didn't have in Carson, California. And, you know, prize purses that they were the game changers in the off season for, that now everybody's trying to emulate. And so I think Wodapalooza has had a massive impact on the growth of the competition off season and in season for the CrossFit Games.
So outside of CrossFit, Brian just received a package in the mail. What do you have in the package, Brian? New clubs for Frisbee golf. Will people find you at the course?
I'll be there. Just depends if they'll find me.
That's a great answer.
It won't be like Granite Games where you slaughtered me and Chase.
Oh man,
that was a lot of fun.
To be fair, that was my first time. I bought 3 discs immediately after I returned home. After that, I was like, I will not suck ever again.
Are you going to take him on again? Now take on Brian?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all for friendly competition.
We'll run it back. There's quite a few people coming down there that play now, actually. So it'll be fun.
I bought them. I didn't say I practiced yet, so I just they've been sitting there.
Plenty of time to practice in Miami.
He's gonna sleep with them under his pillow the night before.
Rub them for good luck.
It's like, why is your right arm so much bigger than your left? And I was like, well, it's either been a rough winter or I've been playing a lot of disc golf.
Hanging out with Brian Friend. So the past couple of days, we've been talking about the podium picks for the men's side and the women's side. I think something else interesting about Wodapalooza is outside of the elite men and women, we have a fully stacked elite men teams and elite women teams. Taking a look at this list, are there any of those athletes? I mean, it's incredible, but is there anybody who you were surprised to see go team versus individual? Chase, let's start with you.
I think the short answer is no, because that's the other cool thing about Wodapalooza is they have this 3-person male and female team format that you don't really see anywhere else, because they all try to have 6-person or 4-person co-ed because they want to be like the CrossFit Games. And Wodapalooza always had 3-person teams, and they reluctantly switched to the other format when they became a sanctioned event. And now that they're not, they can go back to their roots, which is the 3-person. And what I think we see here that's really fun is that big time, big name individuals love going team at Wodapalooza, which I think makes the elite team competition almost more exciting than the individual, because there isn't that game spot on the line. And we're like, I wonder what it would be like to see, you know, Rich and this guy, or the Smith brothers, or the Panchek brothers, or all the Australians, and, you know, it's like the Irish to get together. Like, I think the team competition can be the most exciting part of Wodapalooza.
Just as Chase is right on the money here. It's just to throw it back a little bit. 2017, the podium finishers at Wodapalooza for the men's teams of 3: Travis Williams, Roy Gamboa, Jordan Cook. Well, 2 of those 3 guys are competing on a team with each other this year at Wodapalooza. Second place was Ben Smith, Alex Smith, and Dane Smith. They're competing this year on a team of 3 at Wodapalooza. Third place that year was Scott Panchik, Saxon Panchik, Spencer Panchik. All 3 of them are competing in the individual field. But you get the idea of the caliber of athletes that decide to compete in this. Jason Kliepa and Ben Alderman had a team that year.
That's right.
Rich Froning, Matt Hewitt, and James Hobart had a team that year. And if I'm not mistaken, they did not finish inside the top 15. That's how deep and how impressive these fields of 3 have been at Wodapalooza in the past, prior to sanctionals, like Chase said. And now, once again, this year, with the return of it, athletes are excited to have the opportunity to do this. There's no limitations on who you can compete with based on geography. You just, and a lot of the athletes also didn't have to go through the qualifier to get this because of the invitation that Wodapalooza extends to previously established athletes in the space. So it's a stress-free way for them to compete and have fun. The competition reps are still there, but it's not as stressful or as much of a beatdown at the body for some of them as it would be, especially with high expectations on them, if they competed as an individual.
Yeah, especially when the open season is just right around the corner. So this doesn't take them too far off their training regimen. Probably not. Not that they've an individual athlete be ramping up for the open, or at least ramping up some of their workouts for the open. Here they can just kind of share the work with other like-minded, fit people.
All right, Patrick, let's start with you and go back around. Patrick, Brian, and Chase, on the teams that you're most looking forward to seeing down in Miami.
Do you want to do maybe 1 man and 1 woman each?
I like that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Unless you take mine, and then I don't like it.
Then you have to have a backup plan.
I'm going to have to go with my men's pick. I'm going to have to go Thunder Down Under. The name. And if you knew,
there are some
James,
good names.
If you followed James and Con at all during the off season and their exploits, their travels, those guys love to have fun. And they look like, if you're going to hire anyone to be Thunder Down Under, Las Vegas Joe, it'd be those guys. You throw in Jay as well. And I talked to Con, and I think they're planning on doing having some unique outfits for that competition. Of course. So, of course they are. So,
one of them will be a Speedo, for sure.
At least, and we're not even talking. They might be wearing Speedos in normal workouts. Who knows with those guys? Who knows? But that's the team that I'm just looking forward. I mean, you got 3 fit guys, obviously, and they're there obviously for the fun. I wouldn't be surprised if as soon as they cross the finish line, those guys shotgunning beers as well. So those
with you on the sideline.
Oh, I'll be handing them the beers. We'll probably do some yinglings, some flights. But yeah, that's the team I'm looking for on the men. On the women's side, I'm really interested about that Mia Hesketh team. We haven't seen her compete in a while. She competed in Dubai, and I believe Chase, you were there. I think it was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
And she got the individual spot out of there, and then she got pregnant, and then wasn't able to compete in that game. But that's a team that I'm really interested to see how they do, just because I'm a big fan of Mia. And then also on that team is, I think, Sol Solgesdotter.
Yep.
She's an up-and-coming athlete. She kind of took a little break in CrossFit, did some Olympic lifting, and was down in Invictus. And now she's back in, I think, Iceland or Europe. And she did pretty well in the European quarterfinals and semifinals. And I believe their third athlete's Julia Hogard. And she's coming, she's obviously a top tier athlete, just did Dubai. I'm really interested to see how they do. You got 3 high level athletes right there. They might, obviously the favorite, I'm sure one of the other guys will probably talk about the favorite, but those are the 2 teams I'm looking forward to see.
Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's basically just a lost cause for me and Chase trying to pick anyone other than Thunder Down Under.
But
you're not getting anybody's support for another team.
Brain.
But the only way that
picturing Speedos.
But the only way I can rival that pick is to go with what I think is kind of the next best team name of what I would consider to be the top 5 teams competing there, and the defending champions from the last time we had the teams of 3, which is Team Hercules, Travis Williams, Roy Gamboa, and Logan Collins. The weird thing about this teams of 3 competition is that it's you have to be fit to win, don't get me wrong, but it's not necessarily always the biggest name that wins these types of competitions. It's just being really, really in sync with your teammates who are all really fit. And these 3 guys are obviously all very fit. You can look at their pedigree and history competing. All 3 of them didn't have, Roy I would say had a good season for him, but Travis didn't get to finish his semifinal. Logan Collins didn't make it through the online, and he's like a regular at the game. So I think that they'll be excited to be back in this format, know each other pretty well, and having a lot of fun, but also looking to prove themselves. So I think they're a good contender for the guys. For the women, I'm also not going to pick what you might think as of the favorite here, but I'm going to pick a team that is kind of exciting to me because of a little bit their history and also relationship with each other. So it's Alexis Dutois, Carolyn Prevost, and Danielle Dunlap, team Junk.
A nice
pick.
Alexis and Carolyn are obviously, partners and travel around together and train together all the time. Danielle Dunlap is someone that people may not know too much about. She was in the top 10 at the MAC this year, and she also took 3rd at the CrossFit Games one year on Team OC3. So she's got some experience competing on a team, and I think that they'll be right in the hunt, along with a couple other teams. Well, maybe Chase talk about.
I like that. On the men's side for the team of 3, I know it's a 4-day competition, but if we're talking about Saturday's for the boys, and that's the team I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Noah Olson, Chandler Smith, and Travis Mayer. Partly because this will be the first time Noah's done team at Wodapalooza. He's always been an individual. Like, this is where Noah grew up. This is his backyard competition with the affiliate that he trains at. He's been in here since he's just almost like a teenager. So it'll be neat to see him with a group of 3, Chandler Smith, Travis Mayer, 2 athletes that I feel are very successful despite some of their deficiencies in other areas. And I'd like to see them all work together because, they're under the same training program. Obviously Chandler Smith is now up in Boston with Ben Bergeron, but they used to do training think tank together. So it'd be cool to see how they stack up. And on the women's side, I'm not going to go with what everybody's probably talking about, because what's the point? It's not like we're going. The one I actually want to see is actually the underdog female team that is coming out of Vegas, because to me, I think they're building such a big thing in Vegas is that I know Justin Kotler wants to put a team in the CrossFit Games, and he has the athletes to do it. Now, whether or not those athletes can swallow the individual pride and go team, I think is another story. But I think this may be the first step to something like that. So seeing athletes like, I just lost it, Allison Scuds with the underdogs, Alex Gazan. She's one of those that is on the cusp of maybe making a small name for herself in the coming years. And then Kyra Milligan. So I'm excited to see what the underdog crew does.
Can I make a correction to my own error and also correct one of Chase's errors?
Oh, please.
So I actually, sometimes I get confused because of the way the sanctional season spanned 2 years, but 2018 Wodapalooza was actually the last time they had teams of 3. So the guys that I said were the defending champions actually are not, but they all did compete in the team of 3 that year on different teams. And then Noah and Travis actually did compete on a team of 3 that year as well, along with Will Morad, and they took second. So Noah's done it before.
Gosh, I forgot about that team.
Yeah.
But it is worth mentioning that, like, prior to him going team of 3 that year, he'd won it in 2017, he'd won it in 2016, he'd won it in 2015, he'd taken 3rd in 2014 and 6th in 2013, which I think was the first year he did it. So he had a huge plethora of incredible performances at Wodapalooza before doing that. But yeah, those are both good picks. I love the reasons that Chase picked, especially the underdogs team, because that's a training camp out there that's definitely like forward thinking and looking to position themselves in a variety of different ways. So to see 3 women competing on a team here that are not the big 3 women from underdogs gives you a little bit, and maybe people a little bit more of an understanding of how deep the roster of athletes they're working with out there is.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up Noah. It's like this will be the first time we've seen Noah since the off season ended, or in the off season. So it'd be interesting to see how he does.
So whether we're going to watch men in Speedos, people compete for the title, the 10-year anniversary, there's a lot of different storylines and reasons to go to Wodapalooza, maybe even the festival portion that Chase was talking about. But what do each of you think is the bottom line for Wodapalooza this year? Patrick, we'll have you kick it off. Let Brian and Chase think a little bit.
Oh, man. I think the bottom line for me would just be, Wodapalooza and Loud and Live being able to pull this off in the time that we're, in this very difficult time around. I mean, obviously, COVID's still around, but they're going full blown with it, and it's attracting people. There's going to be a sense of normalcy there. I'm hoping, and I think the athletes are ready to move on too. And just seeing them down there, seeing everyone. The bottom line is just getting everyone together safely and having a good time like we used to do. And that's the bottom line for me.
I think that the bottom line for Wodapalooza in their 10th year is just their tagline is celebrating fitness. This is a place for a huge number of people who train hard all year round, of all different ages, body types, physical limitations, and abilities, from scaled and beginner divisions to adapted divisions that we don't see at the games, age groups all the way up through 65 plus, and also some of the best in the world, all of whom know that it's not easy to get there. You can do the intermediate comp. Go ahead if you haven't done it yet. Sign up for Wodapalooza's intermediate men's or women's division and see how close you get to making it. It is difficult to make it, and that's the 3rd tier division there. And it's the same with the teams of 3, all the way down to the intermediate teams of 3 men and women. There's really good, hardworking people, and this is their one opportunity all year. They make a special trip for this to go there with their friends and express the stuff that they've been doing in the gym together through a difficult time. And so it's almost coming together like perfectly for the 10 years to be an opportunity for people to get back into this environment and have that celebration on and off the floor that that people have been missing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to pick anything beyond that, what Brian was saying, because that is the whole reason why Wodapalooza was created. And it was to celebrate something like that. And I think now more than ever, this is the perfect time to get everybody together from, 0 to 3,000 of number of athletes competing, where there is the thing I love about that is like everyone's in it together. Like there's no exclusive warm-up area. There's no, it's like everyone's in the background doing the same things. People have let their guard down. They're there to enjoy themselves. And I think when you take the pressure, I think the best thing to happen to Wodapalooza is to take the sanctional tag off of them. This is no longer a stressed environment to qualify someone for the CrossFit Games for one spot. And now that we can get back to the whole reason why this thing was created to begin with, and the fact that we haven't had it in 2 years, I think is even more important that we all get to be there in person, celebrating exactly like Brian is talking about. And if not, Wodapalooza is finally doing what they should as far as a live coverage and broadcast and quality of broadcast, free to the community who want to be a part of this that can't make the trip. And they're finally getting the broadcast that they deserve. And it took them 10 years to do so, but it's perfect timing for a perfect situation.
So I don't have to pay to hear Chase anymore. Free.
Which is the worst that you actually have to
price
pay to
I
hear
know.
that.
I'm like, I'm not paying to hear
Getting
that
it for free is bad enough, but to have to pay.
I don't know how they're going to pay you, but I mean, it's obviously not through the broadcasting rights.
Y'all will all be in Miami. Where can people find you if they want to come up and meet you, pick your brain a little bit, or just say hi as you're doing your job?
Patrick will be at the Yingling bar.
Jason
and I will be working.
Yeah, me and Brian will be working. Brian, should I bring the beer to Miami? What do you think?
Ooh, you're gonna be.
That's
warm.
a personal call. You're gonna be in front of the camera a lot, sweating. You might want to flex the guns a little bit. I think the beard could complement that.
Man, yeah.
Wait, Brian, move out in front of the microphone. Yours has gotten very long. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, wow. You're ready for
Brian
cold
looks
winter.
like the version. Have you seen those like Twitter things like for this many likes, I'll extend the beard? Brian looks like 6,000 likes after my photo right now.
It's getting a little risque. Like even when I eat, sometimes I'm like, shoot, do I have food in my beard? Like, this could be super embarrassing. So, but I'm gonna risk it for Miami.
Are you hiding
small family of birds?
Do you hide pencils in there?
Once I find an object in there that I didn't know, then I know it's time to go.
It's time.
Patrick, start putting things in there in Miami.
There's my car keys. I've been looking for these for a week.
Exactly. I'm like, hey, Brian, can you hold these? No. And I'll just shove them in there. Who needs a fanny pack when you have Brian Friend's beard? But yeah,
I think
you'll find me. I'll be running around. What's that, Chase?
Oh, I was going to say, I think the game this weekend is how many toothpicks I can put in Brian's beard that he doesn't know.
Ooh,
I put there.
The tally.
Over-unders on 3.
I'll just be mid-broadcast and just slide it in there.
And that's how many beers that Patrick has to drink.
There we go. What's the damage?
The
7.
end of the night.
Good luck.
Yeah, at the end of the night or during the competition.
So, Patrick, you'll be running around kind of all over?
Yeah, Wodapalooza is going to have a podcast booth, and hopefully I'll be able to sit down with some athletes and come by and say hi. If you see me in line at Chipotle, come by and say hi. If you see me at the activation tent for Yingling, come and say hi. Yeah, hit me up. Slide into those DMs. PC in the bus.
I'm not gonna.
It's Miami.
I'm not gonna say that. I think that mostly while the competition's going on, I'll be near the competition floor, watching and helping the guys with the broadcast out. But other than that, I do like to get around and check out the vendor village and all the different things that they have going on. I know Loud and Live has some different plans in store this year that they are excited for people to be able to experience. And when I get the chance, I'll go and do that as well. I also have several friends that are competing in divisions that aren't the elite division. So I'll try to get out and watch some of those guys compete. But yeah, same as Patrick, by all means, feel free to say hi if you see me walking around, even if it's just for a second. Love to catch up.
Chase?
Oh, I have to answer this question for real?
Yes. Where will we hear your voice from?
Well, yeah. So you'll hear me on the broadcast, which is a pretty solid day. But I'm like Brian, is every opportunity I get to go through Vendor Village or just go to different stages and watch other parts of the competition, is every break I have, I spend it just being able to get out there and watch things I normally don't get to watch outside of, say, a TV screen. So I like to run through Vendor Village as often as I can. And just like I said, see some people, as Brian was saying earlier, it's like seeing some people I haven't seen in a while. So it's always good to catch up, and I always love just mixing up with the community every chance I get. So it'd be nice to get out of the booth and get out and see some people.
Everyone's gonna have to get past your security though to say take selfies with you, though,
No, I'm usually the one that has to take the selfies for other people. I'm like, yes, so
Oh,
you
They
know
just
I do
hand
this
up the
too.
phone?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like Ant-Man in Endgame. Like, yeah, you want to take a picture of me? 'Cause- No.
All right, Patrick, Brian, Chase, thank you so much for joining us over the past couple of days to preview Wodapalooza. It's going to be an excellent time, a lot of action Thursday through Sunday. And again, we will have that live stream on morningchalkup.com, or if you won't be in Miami, like myself, you'll be able to see all the action. Sad. From the home base, we'll see you next time.